It's the 16th of January 2019. I'm David Griffin. I'm at Aston-on-Trent and I'm talking to
David Duncan,
Quinn,
Chris Jones,
Ian Dunn.
Thank you, gentlemen. Could you just perhaps tell me what your current roles are within the cricket club?
Current role is chairman, tiny little bit of a player, and the All-Star, one of the All-Stars coaches for the kids.
Excellent. Robin?
player and welfare officer for the club.
Lovely. And Chris?
player, treasurer, juniors coach, all stars, as much as I
Is
can.
that enough jobs? And Ian?
Secretary, fixture secretary, player to some degree, and another All-Stars facilitator.
So you've all got critical jobs and you're sitting here proudly with the scorebook with the village cricket club crest on. We heard in previous interviews from some of your predecessors, if you like, about the long history of Aston-on-Trent Cricket Club, which went back to the 1860s. But I understand in 2015 the club, after 155 years, folded. Nothing, of course, to do with you, because you are the people that, like Lazarus-like or Phoenix from the Flames, have reinvigorated the club and started it all over again, so to speak. So can I just start with you, David? Can you just give us some idea of how that rebirth began?
Yeah, I guess it was early 2015, and Barbara James, who's the organiser from Recreation in Aston, I became a neighbour to her, and we had a conversation. Chris and Ian were involved very early on, and I think it was in the seat you're sitting on just now. We had a conversation with a view to getting a village friendly team playing underneath the incumbent team at the time.
Right. And had you got a background in cricket?
Not at all.
Really?
Never played cricket in my life. Watched the game, never played it in my life before. Can you not tell by the accent?
Well, Scotland have had a test player, haven't they?
I think we beat you last year, didn't we?
Well, Callum MacLeod scored only the third 100 by a Derbyshire player
He did.
in T20, and a good one it was too.
Absolutely.
So how did that team develop?
We basically partnered up with the then Aston Cricket Club, and we had a number of Sunday events for the villagers and the lads and dads sort of thing. And we, first Sunday of the month for 5 Sundays, turned up with a borrowed set of kit, and they basically had a game of cricket amongst ourselves. And then obviously at the end of that season, September time, we got notification that the team was actually folding in its current guise, and we were given the opportunity via the Parish Council and Recreation in Aston to form a committee, set a club up, and we took advice and set a brand new club up, and here we are today, a number of years down the line.
Let's move on to you then, Robin. You were very resplendent in your training training top. So what was your cricketing background before you became part of the new Aston-on-Trent?
Yeah, so bits and pieces throughout my life, nothing to a particularly high standard, but got involved in cricket up in Wigan, where I'm from, probably when I was about 8, 9 years old. I remember my first cricket bat that my uncle bought me. He was one of those guys you call an uncle, but he's not actually your uncle. A family friend, he played for a team up there called Springview, and he bought me a Duncan Colt as my first cricket bat, and that sort of sparked my interest. And great TV programmes like the Bodyline series, you know, things like that really sparked my interest. So I played bits at school, bits out of school. When I went to university, played bits of indoor cricket, not really particularly to a high level, and I've not really been involved in cricket for a number of years until I saw the advert in the pub window here for the Sunday sessions, which Dave mentioned just then. Went down to the playing field and got involved in the club.
Lovely. Chris, what was you've reeled off a list of jobs that you've got at Aston, but what was your cricketing background before?
Well, I'd always enjoyed my cricket. My father was a very keen cricketer. He played in the West Lancashire League.
Right.
I'm from Liverpool originally, so we classify ourselves as the Lancashire 2.
Well,
no such county as
cricket,
Merseyside
then.
then.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
great overseas players played up there.
Yeah.
And, yes.
So my father used to take me along and I watched him, and then started playing at school, captained my school, played a little bit myself in the West Lancashire League, and then became a lapsed cricketer. I didn't play for 20 odd years, but it was coincidentally when the Sunday sessions were just starting, my elder son started showing an interest in cricket, and wasn't able to do any practice here because there wasn't any youth structure in the old club. So I took him to Elveston, got back into the swing of enjoying cricket clubs, social life, Saturday mornings, watching my son train, and I thought, right, I'll go along one Sunday afternoon. I haven't picked a bat up for 25 years. And it showed, probably still does. But thoroughly enjoy getting back involved. It's a breath of fresh air.
Excellent. And last but not least, Ian, what's your cricketing background?
Started, I suppose, similar age to Robin, 8 or 9 years old. I was born down in Woking in Surrey, and my dad worked for British Aerospace, so I started in their Colts, British Aerospace, Weybridge Colts. And they used to have Surrey used to play there on their out games, so I remember seeing both of them play there in the sort of mid-70s, and Calatrans, someone mentioned him earlier on. Those, fantastic names of cricket, so got into it, loved it, ended up playing for Ripley in Surrey for years and years and years, really pretty much until my first, the eldest daughter was born in 2003, and sort of, approaching 40, everything was aching a bit, and you think, oh well, maybe it's time to give up. And moved up here in 2006, and hadn't played, always still loved the game and watched it. But then, sort of, when things came about and the club started to really take off, I suppose, the sessions as Dave mentioned, I jumped at the chance to try and get involved again, and a bit slower and a bit creakier than before, but it's been fantastic getting involved.
And I know you're all modest, but what were your speciality? Were you batsman, bowler, keeper?
Keeper, batsman, really, I suppose. One of I was the envy of a load of kids at school. There was about 3 or 4 of us used to go on a Thursday afternoon for a certain period of maybe a couple of months in the year, where we go off to Alf Gover's cricket school.
Oh, wow.
Probably the coldest place in London at the time. He had a reputation of being, so tight that none of the heaters were on and everything. But I mean, it was what a fantastic
that
place
school
to go.
produced so many county.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was, and Alf was
great fast bowler.
Was still coaching, when I was there. It tells you a bit. It's a long time ago now, but so yeah, just loved it really. But so I was sort of a keeper come batsman.
Chris, what was your? You said you hadn't picked a bat up, so I'm assuming you were a batsman. You probably scored thousands of runs and like hundreds, and you're just being modest.
Only in the back garden. No, I just love cricket so much I'll do anything. I'll bat, I'll bowl. I love fielding. My dad always used to say to me, the one part of the game where you're not in a competition with the opposition is fielding. You set your own standards.
Yeah.
And I remember him showing me a video or some pictures of Colin Bland, the South African player who used to do exhibition games, and I saw him once at Liverpool Cricket Club.
Really?
Just
at
Egbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played there a couple of times, luckily. Yeah. And Colin Bland in the tea interval wouldn't go off for tea. He'd just do demonstrations of picking the ball up at point and throw it down one stump.
It's a magnificent pavilion at Egbert, isn't it? For a club ground.
Yeah.
I told my own story. In 1988, Derbyshire played Lancashire there in the Benson Hedges Cup, and we looked as if we got no chance of winning. So I disappeared off to the toilet. And when I came back, Michael Holding had hit 2 sixes out of the ground at Egbert, which is a big ground. And we won the game. But anyway, that's.
She goes to the toilet more often.
Robin, your special, you're a tall chap, so
well,
a hitter or a fast bowler?
In the younger years when I did play, I fancied myself more of a batsman, but that was more to do with my extreme inability to bowl rather than actually being able to do anything with a bat. But it's funny, since starting up with these guys, and over the last 2 or 3 summers when we have been playing competitive, albeit friendly matches, I've actually not fared too well with the bat, but I've been doing decent with the ball. So it seems like in the later years.
Quick or you slow stuff?
Yeah, slow right arm, no spin, I think is. Just
the trouble
military.
is, every single league club cricketer has played against the guy with the grey hair that comes onto bowl that you all think's going to go in the field, and he takes 6 for 10. There's hope for you.
That's it. Yeah, keep plugging away.
Sometimes the opposition think it's Mitchell Johnson coming into them, and that.
Yeah, or David Boone, blast from the past.
David, it's no point me asking about your cricketing heritage
whatsoever, yeah.
Because you said Osborne. So I guess it's probably appropriate then to look at the formation of the club. We've already touched on what you do at the club and what have you. So what was the challenge for you as a collective, but we'll start with you, in 2015, to say, right, this 155-year-old club, we've got to kick-start it. How much of a challenge was that?
Well, the guys, we quickly formed a committee, and without these guys, certainly we wouldn't be where we are today. So with their help, it's been a relatively smooth ride, to be honest. We had nothing to start with. Unfortunately, the incumbent club at the time disappeared with everything. So we had no kit, no rollers, no mowers or anything to start with.
Any players?
None, nothing. So zero, ground start up, and so
what was the league approach to that? Because presumably the club was playing league cricket.
the club was playing at the time. They were, I think, they were Premiership, weren't they?
They got to the Premiership about 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Of the new
One
Premier
season.
in the new
in the new
One
guys, yeah.
season they had.
Right.
But
They'd slipped down, hadn't they?
yeah, but they were still
Several
a
divisions.
fairly decent standard. But we ended up with zero, and so we begged, borrowed, stole some kit from local schools and whatever. We had a mail shop around the village, and we got together with a bunch of guys and started the new club. And then obviously when we got notification that it was an official finish and restart, off we went. Mick Glenn advised us in various statute requirements, constitutions and so on, and the club was basically set up in I think the first AGM was October 15 or something, November 15?
September.
Yes.
September 15, yeah.
Yeah.
When we officially sort of formed our current guys, and with a view to simply, being a village team for village players, obviously the surrounding villages as well, but we also had the goal to try and encourage the kids into the game itself, and hopefully develop a youth policy to build again for the future.
Chris, you talked about your love of the game, but you've taken on so many different roles at the club. So what was driving you? What was it, just a simple love for the game? Was it something more aesthetic, or more? What drove you to want to be? Because it must have been an unenviable task, as David's just said, you got no players.
Well, I think the enthusiasm of people in the village, people like the gentleman you've spoken to earlier, when news got round that we were starting up again, there was a great impetus, and I think it also came on the back of another fundraising event that had happened in the village, where some local ladies had raised money to have a new playground on the park where our pitch is.
Right.
And there was a lot of goodwill in the village. They used to do a race night, so our financial beginning was we took over the village race night from the playground project. So we now have the annual cricket club race night in the village.
Excellent.
That raises good money, gets the village involved, and really helped give us some momentum.
Yeah.
Personally, I played a lot with my father, and I've always wanted to play with my son. So hopefully that will come to fruition one day, and might happen with David and so
myself
on,
and
and
Ian, it's happened
it
already.
might happen with ladies cricket in years ago, because Ian's daughter is very keen. So we wanted to put something back in for the village. You can't have a great village without a proper cricket club. It just isn't right.
And am I right in saying you're not in a league yet?
Friendly team, purely.
So how did you got enough players together for 2016? Robin, were you playing? Did you play in that first year?
Yeah, I was playing from the beginning.
So you got an 11 together. How did you arrange your fixture secretary? But
Ian fixture secretary.
That's right. How did you get a fixture list together? Because there can't be that many teams that only play friendlies. So
There's a few.
There's a lot round here, actually, yeah.
But I think, we were, sorry,
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
But we were lucky in terms of timing, I think, because it happened that not long after that, we had one of the Derbyshire, the forums that were held at the county ground, the cricket forum. And I think word had got round, and we'd sort of introduced ourselves as, with a new Aston-on-Trent Village Cricket Club. And the amount of goodwill that there was from as Chris has mentioned, within the village was fantastic. But even outside that, Sandyacre, I had a call from a guy at Sandyacre, said, we've got a load of kit, and there's bits of gloves and pads and bats and stuff. If you want it, you're welcome. He came round and dropped it. It was brilliant. And I think we had several people at that first sort of forum meeting scribble numbers down and go, when you're ready, give us a shout, there's my number. And so it sort of just took on from there. And become, I suppose, more established fixtures now. You know.
So who do you play? Who are the main sides that you play during?
Swarkston, Elveston, George Lewis,
Etwall.
A and B, Etwall.
And B.
And is it Saturday cricket or?
Sunday.
Social cricket.
Majority
and,
Sunday afternoon, but we do try to sneak in some midweek Wednesday evenings and also
Wednesday, Friday
some
nights.
very social Friday evenings.
Yeah, T20s of course, yeah. But it's it's a blend, isn't it, of established league clubs in the area which have a team playing friendlies, the likes of Etwall or Swarkston or Alveston A and B. But there's actually a few friendlies only teams, aren't there, that are quite nomadic. So the fact that we've got a ground is quite a good opportunity for them because they've not got a ground. So they come in and I mean last summer we had about 16 games in over the summer. So.
There must be an enormous sense of achievement and of pride in what you've managed to do so far. And I'd like, when we finish this interview, to do another one about the prospects for the future. But in terms of the people that you've got involved at the club now, do you think that there is a likelihood that you'll be able to move to play competitively in cricket, or have you no desire to do that?
I think Chris mentioned that they having his son playing alongside him. I was fortunate that you and my son we've played a couple of games together. Thankfully, he's a damn sight better cricketer than I, without question. But the future is in their hands ultimately, and if we can get enough of the young lads who are this 18 through 21, 22. We're a great place to be, and we have got currently 6-7 under-21s who are the future without question, and we get guys like Rob and Chris, and who wish to play more cricket. And when we get a stable number of 25, 26, obviously we're in a position. It was always a view to go league, but it's got to be the right time to go league.
Well, we'll leave it there. We'll just pause for a moment because I am fascinated by how you see the future. And the kind of people you've got involved at the club as well as yourselves. But for now, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.